We'll move on, and we'll
The senior center.
roll right into question and answer with our department heads. And first, we'll have Tara Gresock, the Director of the Senior Citizen Center.
What page?
Not on here. Oh, wait.
Page is that?
Yeah, you have to announce a page.
What page, Nick?
I'll get there. This will be found on page 52 of the budget.
50.
Thank you.
Hello.
I'm just going to pass out something real quick and then.
Dude,
Thank
depends
you.
on what page you're. 500
Oop.
pages. You ready?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right there.
It's in color.
Right there. Heard you met my wife. I did. She thinks you're very nice.
I know she's alive.
Thank you.
Didn't you look fantastic? Great.
10 cents.
Sarah, do you have an extra one for?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, Sharon. I didn't.
Yeah, good point.
Thanks, Lynn. You're welcome.
Okay. So first I want to do is just thank all of you for your support this year. Coming to all of our events and helping out with Coffee with Council. As all of you know, we've had a lot of positive changes to the center in the past
Changes.
year. If you take a look at the newsletter that's mailed to you every month, you'll see that it's almost doubled in size. And because of your support, we were able to do some staffing changes at the beginning of at the end of last year, beginning of this year. With Lida Wiesmore, our clerical worker, retiring at the end of last year, we added Carol Olson to our staff as a program coordinator. And then at the beginning of the year, we added Chris Gilbert, our fitness coordinator, to the staff. As most of you have known through the past almost 10 years, I've been there since 2006, each year we keep seeing a tremendous increase in our attendance, which requires more programming, and I just couldn't do it all by myself. One person was just too much. So with the addition of Carol and Chris, we were actually able to, I guess, blossom into a new center this year. I don't want to be here all night to tell you all the different things that we added. Obviously, looking in the newsletter, you can see the total difference of what we've done. Just a few brief things. We were able to add a special event at least once a month, where I was only able to do it quarterly. Some of the newest things we did was a luau bingo, with Carol being Hawaiian. That was one of the first things she added, which we had over 150 people attend to. We had our first annual Pierogi Fest in September, which we sold out the room. We only fit 230 people in there, so we sold out with that event. As the majority of our special events that we do, our Spaghetti Festival, we have our Halloween Monster Bash on Friday, which is sold out at 220 people. So obviously the demand for more programs was there. The main thing was the health and fitness side of what we offer. We kept filling up our classes. Our members were asking for more. We did not have enough cardio equipment to meet the demands of the members using our fitness center. So that was one of the reasons why we added Chris to our staff to help out with the programming on the health and wellness side. We were also able to expand our fitness room this year with a generous donation from UPMC East. We doubled the size of the room. At no cost to the municipality did that expansion cost you anything. UPMC and Senior Council paid for the complete renovation of that addition. I do want to thank Mike Adams and his staff. We did have them out there for 2 days to take down the partitioned wall. For those of you that have been at the senior center for a long time, I know Steve would probably remember, that used to be one big room. And when we made the first fitness center, we split the room in half to keep the lobby seating area, never thinking that the room would have to be the size that it is today. So basically, Public Works came in and took down the prefab wall, which took about 2 days. The carpet was actually still under there, the electric was still there, so we were actually lucky with the cost of that. So all that we had to pay for was the addition of the cardio equipment, like I said, which was funded through donations. With the addition of that, we were able to add personal training. We contracted out Sulameo as our nutritionist on staff now. We have monthly fitness clinics. We were able to add more exercise classes. So for those of you who want to come check it out, we encourage you to. So getting to our budget, I didn't have any major changes to the budget this year, other than you will notice I did hand you a staffing proposal sheet. One thing I do want to point out is if you look at the two first line items of the budget, it shows regular employees, and the other one kind of gets cut off, but that's the second line item is our part-time employees. Currently, we have 4 full-time employees. That's myself, our program coordinator, our bus driver, and our custodian. And then below that is our part-time employees. You will see the figure of 2006 budget being $102,000. That is actually a huge error.
Oh, thank God.
Which I did catch once I got a copy of the budget. I don't enter the employees, I only enter like the utilities and things like that. So it has been corrected. It is supposed to be $28,080. So when I first looked at that, I was like, wait a minute, something's wrong here.
We used to blame that on Sue, now we'll blame it on Lolly.
Right. Well, they have corrected it, but we couldn't get you a correct copy before you being up here tonight.
What's the correct number again?
$28,080, not $102,000.
Thank you.
In the part-time staff, there's only 3 employees that fall under that. That's Chris Gilbert, our fitness coordinator. That is Leslie Holzak, which is our silver sneakers instructor, and Mike Evans, who is our evening supervisor. Our evening supervisor, if you look at the proposal sheet that I gave you, well, maybe I don't have that on there. I don't, never mind. Well, kind of. You'll see senior council contribution, $8,000. And if you look under the revenue side of the municipal budget for the senior center, you will see that this year you were given $8,000 from senior council. They have approved to give it to you again this year to support the expansion of our evening hours, which we started in February of this year with the addition of our fitness room. So they completely cover the cost of us being open at 8 o'clock at night and the supervisor that is there during the evenings. So just so you know, they did approve to give that again in 2006. So it is reflected in the revenue side of our budget. As far as like the utilities, everything like that, that pretty much stayed the same. There's really not much that unless you have questions about any of that stuff, nothing has really changed. Other than you will see like telephone did go up a little bit. Telephone is not just telephone in our department. Telephone covers telephone, internet, and cable. So we did have to change from DSL to FiOS this year because of the line from the road down to the center. The DSL line was destroyed. They couldn't get it back down, so the only other option that we had through Verizon, and looking at both Verizon and Comcast, was to go fiber optics. So obviously there was an increase with that because to go from fiber optics to DSL, obviously there's an increase for that. So getting to the sheet that I handed to you, staffing proposal, I am asking because of the increase in demand with our fitness center and the health and wellness programs that we offer. Right now, Chris currently works 20 hours a week. He works from 9 to 1. Tom can contest most days. Chris is there from 7 in the morning till usually 7 or 8 o'clock at night. and he's only getting paid from 9 to 1. He does do some contractual programming outside of his hourly rate, which is his personal training and some classes he teaches. And currently, actually, misconception, all of our fitness instructors are all contracted. So they don't fall under the part-time budget. They all are contracted through senior council, and we actually split the profit of the income of those classes. So the instructors get a percentage, and they pay us every month a percentage of the profit that they would take for their class. And Chris does that for the classes that, in the personal training that he currently does. I am proposing that we make him full-time. One, the most important is the revenue that we would generate by making Chris full-time. Those contracted programs would now become profit of the senior center.
May I comment on that?
Yes.
I've had the pleasure of working with Chris, and today my wife started her program with Chris,
Right.
and I must say that he is just tremendous. He's patient, he's thorough, he teaches you the right way to do things, and I believe he's a great asset to the center.
Right.
And that I strongly support your request for the full-time.
Thank you. You will see, like, under some of the revenue things that I pointed out, the fitness center revenue, that is basically Chris. We have generated over since September of this year, so we can say we're now at the end of October. He has generated over $8,000 worth of revenue that we were not getting at all at the beginning of this year. You also see program revenue generated $5,000 basically. With having him full-time, that will only probably double in size. You will also notice that Chris does teach most of our Silver Sneakers and Silver and Fit classes. So instead of paying the instructors $25 an hour, he's hourly. So we do have Leslie who teaches Tuesday, Thursday. She's been there from the beginning. You do want to have some variation. You don't want the same instructor teaching all the classes. So we do have Leslie still on staff. But Chris did take over the majority of the Silver Sneakers and Silver and Fit classes, which also provide you more revenue. Now, Silver Sneakers and Silver and Fit is in your budget. All of the revenue from those programs comes directly to the municipality. It's listed under revenue. I do have projected for next year $15,000 for Silver Sneakers and $6,000 for Silver and Fit. If you turn over to the other side of your page, you will see the revenue that we have brought in from Silver Sneakers this year. And I cannot take any credit for that. That is all Chris. So you will see, this year I projected to only make $13,000. This year we've made $4,760, and that's as of September.
14.
So
14,000.
14,000. And obviously the fall months are the busiest months for health and fitness. Everybody comes back inside from outside. So I can project from our attendance for actually October that we'll make close to the $1,800 that we did for September, as well as for November to December. So my projection is we'll be close to $20,000 revenue. So projecting that I'd make 13 and we're going to make 20, that's just incredible. With adding Chris full-time, that would increase. Why? Because, one, we're able to offer more classes. Currently, right now, he's filling up the classes. You have to cut it off at 25 people. Two, retention. Member retention is really important. Everybody knows with health and fitness, people come into the gym after 2-3 weeks, they get tired, they leave. Right now, Chris nor I have time to follow up with those people. Hey, Tim, where have you been? You know, especially with Silver and Fit, they stop coming, we make no money. Every time they come in, we make $3.25. That's the same for Silver and Fit. So if we have someone there on staff full-time, they can keep up with where people are and to make sure that they're coming back to the center, or if they're not, why they're not coming back. The other thing, too, is, I'm sure Nick understands this, we get paid the same way that doctors do. It's claims. So you submit your attendance for who came into the center for that month to Healthways or American Specialty Health. They reject half of it, and they give you this claim number that nobody can understand, especially myself, because I have nothing to do with health or being a doctor. So they make it obviously very confusing for you to contest how they paid you out. Chris being there full-time, he's done this before in his other jobs, and has been able to recuperate more money from both of these companies. So that would be more revenue coming into your budget. In a nutshell, if you look at what Chris currently gets paid and what I'm asking Chris to get paid, it would be a difference of about $25,000. I can almost positively guarantee you that $25,000 we can recuperate with revenue just by adding Chris full-time. That's his goal. That's what he's promised that he would do. He would basically be covering his salary by adding the programming that he would be able to do.
Will benefits be included in that package?
The health benefits, yes, are
Okay,
included
good,
in there.
good.
He would have a single plan. If
Yeah.
you look at the top, the salary, his health care for a single plan. Now, the Social Security figures and pension have not been figured into that total, so it would be a little bit more than that. Basically, I went over the key points as to why I want that. If you do, I did put the attendance records down at the bottom of the page because I did want you to see that.
They're outrageous.
I know you get that sent to you in your packets once a month, but if you do look at the numbers, especially for the fitness center, and how much they have doubled in attendance size. For example, June, in the year 2014, we had 513 visits. This year, we had 1,219 visits. And we went all the way down to September, so I'll give you the last month's attendance figures. For September of 2014, 582 visits. For this year, 1,138 visits. So you're talking almost double the people coming in and out of that fitness room. It's what the seniors want. It's the new generation, the baby boomers. They're being told to be active. They have the Silver and Fit in the Silver Sneakers programs. Their doctors are encouraging it. It's not about playing bingo and talking about getting old anymore. I mean, you go in there and some of the people who tell me they're aged and they're running on a treadmill, it astonishes me. So when you see an 80-year-old, they don't look like they're 80 anymore. They look more like they're 50. So, and that's because of them continuously being active. If you come into the center, it's a totally different atmosphere than what it was 10 years ago. So, we strive to give the seniors what they want, and this is what they're asking for, and so I'm asking you to give them what they want. Any questions?
Yes, I do have one.
Yes.
I noticed, first of all, I'd like to say, I think you're doing an amazing job there.
Thank you.
And I look at the attendance records, 21,500 approximately from June through September
Right.
attendees on the center. But in the fitness center, there's 4,800 average
Right.
in those 4 months, and I think that's absolutely amazing. And I've been able to participate in your
Because you only have to be
Silver
50,
Sneakers
right?
program.
Yeah,
And
thank goodness.
And
Did
it,
you just turn 50?
pardon me?
Because you just turned 50.
Yeah, right. I just qualified, got
Yes,
in under the
just got in there.
deadline. Anyway, my question is, and I want to thank you for your hard work,
Thank you.
everything, and I know that, well, you're doing an exceptionally good job. So is the rest of your staff.
We
I
only,
have to compliment.
it only shows that we love what we do.
Yes.
Well, you can see that in the way the programs are put together. You can see that in the way that the center is being managed.
Right.
And thank you for what you do. I do have one question. I see in here under your municipality budget expenditure detail that there's approximately $31,000 that goes into the annual OPEP required
Right.
contribution.
And those figures, that's the other thing. Including the part-time budget, the OPEB, the hospitalization, the social security, the life insurance, all of those are incorrect. So they are actually higher than what they should be.
Okay.
I didn't have the exact figures that Jill gave me that they were.
But I don't have an issue
But
with
it's
it.
a little bit higher.
I just wanted to ask Tim
Yeah.
that I haven't seen any contribution to the OPEB fund from the senior center in any of the past 2 years.
You mean a contribution in their budget like this is right here?
No, it's
But-
always been in there.
Well, it says, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 down on their.
Yeah, I see it. I
Oh,
have it.
yeah, I don't know
I
why
have it
that's
highlighted.
like that.
You see that? And it says required contribution of basically, it's saying 31,000, but my question is that I haven't seen, let's say, for example, the 15 budget was 30,000. I didn't see the 30,000 going into the OPEB fund either.
Well, that's all part of the $1 million that we put in, although the $1 million is not enough. I mean, that is the $1.2 million and some change
Okay,
that is figured out.
okay.
So that's from every department.
Right.
Yeah.
Their
You add 'em all
Yeah,
Okay.
you add
It
them
goes
all
by
up.
employees,
Okay, so
right?
then that
Right.
equates to $1
How many
million.
That's all I needed, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We currently
I-
have.
I have a comment
four-
also.
Four retired employees
Right.
in our budget. So
Right.
when you
Okay.
look at our total down at the bottom, it's a little misleading because we are contributing to 4 retired employees out of our budget.
Thank you.
My only comment, I guess
Yeah.
with this roughly $74,000 error
Yeah.
on the temporary employment, your budget's similar to what it was last year.
Yeah, it hasn't really
A
increased.
small
because-
increase.
And I do like the incentive for Chris, I mean, I really think that's neat. They've done that, I know Mr. Little's done that in the tax department. You give some of the employees an incentive,
Right.
or
I mean, he
goal,
came in
a
that
goal
way.
to reach, and
Right.
that's
He
cool.
came in that way. I mean, and to be
I like
honest with
that.
you, prior to me coming in there in 2016, there was not a revenue line at all. And I was not asked to start generating revenue. It was just, times were getting tough with budget, department, municipal managers, Tim, Marshall at the time were like, you have to be more creative with your budget, you have to try to help out. So I went out and found ways to bring revenue into the center. One municipal wide and the other is senior council. And that's the other thing I forgot to address is, you're looking there and you're seeing that senior council made this amount and that amount. Please note that every cent that they make goes back into that building. They have covered your capital budget for the past 3 years. So anytime that I needed to, we had 2 refrigerators break, ovens, a stove. They spent over, I would say, $30,000 just in the fitness room addition, they spent $36,000. So that I wouldn't have to come to you today to ask for more money. In the kitchen, they put in over $25,000 for new refrigerators, new stove, and new ovens. They completely remodeled the back end of the building at the beginning of this year. They replaced all of the carpet. They painted. They paid for that. The list goes on and on. I'm lucky and I'm fortunate because 99% of the time when I go and I say to them, I need this, they give it to me because they make the money to put it back into the building. And I can't say that for too many organizations, that they put 100% back into that building, every cent that
Well,
they make.
I think the important thing to remember here is that you have formed a partnership with the seniors and their council.
Right.
And without that partnership, we wouldn't have a balanced budget and a smooth-running operation like you have today.
Right.
So, thank you.
Good job.
Yeah, I just have a comment. Ditto on what Councilman Wilson said there. You do a great job down there, and I think what you're doing is fantastic. And the numbers, the fitness center going up with those numbers going up just corroborates, as you said, you can't guarantee it as for the silver sneakers and the silver fit money bringing in to cover Chris's salary. And I do, you and I have talked, and I do believe that's going to be covered. But just, and I probably should have talked about this part, as far as the pension's concerned and the FICA, which I don't know if Joe added that in there, but it should be on this sheet, though, if you revise it. The pension's about $4,500. I just did it, calculated now, and the FICA's about $2,257. So that's close to another additional $7,000. But I think that'll be covered. I mean,
Right, but the figures that are
But
listed
the other
now
numbers are going to
incorrect.
drop, Tim,
yeah,
because they're all based off that 102.
Yeah, they are,
So all those numbers are going to drop.
absolutely.
Oh, most
When you look at the
definitely.
budget,
A lot,
a lot.
$4,000 worth.
Yeah, it's going to drop a lot.
Roughly.
right,
So,
Can you, Tara,
yes.
as I've asked all the department heads when they come up initially, go over your goals and objectives quickly for what you're, on page 27 for the benefit of the public and council, Senior Citizen Center, 2016 goals. I had the department heads, as I told council, revamp, so they mean something. As we move along here, year in and year out, we want to have what they put in here mean something to the public and to you.
Well, I gave 4 different goals, I think, yeah. So one was basically expand public awareness. You want to help Monroeville get the status of being vibrant again. And a lot of people, although people look at the school district and different things when they move into the community, they do very well look at recreation that's provided both for youth and for adults. We do have a big percentage of seniors moving into Monroeville as well as living here, staying here. So it's really important for the senior center to make sure that we expand our public awareness and let people know what we have to offer, not only inside Monroeville, but outside of Monroeville. So that's, through, social media. We did actually this year start a Facebook page. So it's, radio, television, newspaper exposure, more social media exposure. Obviously, one of our main goals is to always give the seniors what they want with new programming and services. So obviously, fitness facility is at the top of our line right now because that's where the demand is. So we're hoping to be able to expand with our evening hours. I will say that I have been working with Joanne Morris from the rec department, and they are now offering several of their health and fitness programs at the senior center to help offset their costs, as well as public awareness, exposing the center more to people who normally wouldn't go in there. And actually, a lot of those people that did come for that class did actually sign up to use the fitness facility. So just all ties in together with that. Strengthening organization, so volunteer recruitment. Obviously, one of my goals was the reorganization of municipal staffing, and I did explain that to you with Chris. Financial foundation, more fundraising, strengthening the revenue for Silver Sneakers and Silver and Fit, and I kind of did explain that too when I was explaining the addition of Chris. So those were the 4 things: building financial foundation, strengthening organization, developing new programs and services, and last but not least, expand public awareness.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Good job, Tara. As I mentioned to council, too, at the last work session, you want your goals and objectives to correlate it, as Tara pointed out, to correlate what she has in there, where the money is going. Basically, it's kind of not a total, but a quasi-performance-based budget. So is the money going to the programs, and is it performing and delivering the services, whether it's collecting garbage, senior citizen center, finance, whatever the case might be, police or whatever?
I just have one. Do we offer any transportation services for seniors?
We do. Most people probably are not aware that we have Cinder Dale on staff. She's
Yeah.
you don't know, and you're a councilperson. We have Cinder Dale on staff. She is our bus driver. We have a senior center bus. It was fun. Originally, we would borrow the Conventions Bureau bus and we're very limited as to when we could use it. We did provide then and still do provide shopping for Monroeville and Pitcairn residents on a weekly basis. So if you're homebound or just don't like driving in bad weather, you can. We do provide shopping. You get a 2-hour time limit once a week. It's usually on Thursdays and Fridays. You call the center, you get on the list. You can go anywhere in Monroeville for a 2-hour period. Bus picks you up at home, drops you off at home. I believe it was like in 2008, we did get a grant, a state grant to purchase our own bus, so now it's ours. So we do provide it to any of our major events, our luncheons. Because it's now our bus, we were able to expand our programming. We provide some new programs we added actually this year, a Dine Around Town program. So once a month, we go outside of Monroeville to a restaurant. So we go down to the Strip District, we go to the South Side, we go to Robinson, we go to Cranberry, we go all over places that older people are normally not comfortable driving in. And there's always a waiting list. Sites for Seniors is another thing that we offer. Every month we go outside of Monroeville somewhere. Last month we actually went on a wine tour to Narcisse's Winery, which got kind of rowdy, but it was actually fun.
They're great.
We've gone to the Heinz History Center. This month, we're going to the Carnegie Science Center to see an Omnimax on D-Day. So we're constantly, the bus is used at least 3 to 4 times a week, if not more than that, depending on what activities we have. But the main thing is there is shopping available for
They can
seniors.
call you and ask you schedules on that.
And the other thing is, most people might not know, there is Access, which is a county-funded program. It provides transportation to seniors anywhere in Allegheny County, and we are a registered site where people can sign up for Access. You have to be 65 or be certified disabled.
It's on TV 15 also.
Yeah, it basically, you do have to pay for it, but it's at a very minimal cost. It kind of works like a debit card. You get a card, you put a certain amount of money on it. Depending on where you travel to, they deplete the money from it. There's also Other People's Transportation, OPT, which is a department of the Access program. It's older people's transportation. It provides free transportation to and from doctor's appointments. So those are the 3 things that are
That's the reason
available.
why there's gas and lubricants in your budget.
The gas is for the municipal bus, yes.
Well, I, as liaison to the senior council, I think that it's wonderful there. The senior council is amazing. What they do, the money they put back into that center, what they've done with their money, the programming. Carol is like the Martha Stewart
Yes,
of classes, and the people love it. I mean, they fill up. Chris is amazing. The demand is there. It's what they're asking for, and I don't see any reason why that's what our people want, that we don't give it to them. So that's just my take. So, and thank you for everything you do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tara.
Thanks, Tara, good job.
Who's up the bat?